Good afternoon, neighborinos. Welcome into HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. My name is Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing, and we are here in week number 4, day number 2. We've got 2 amazing best of 5s for all of you, but before we jump into best of 5s or anything in between, I gotta check in with my co-host, my analyst, everything. How are you guys doing? Let's start with Grubby. How have you been? I've been seeing you've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm since yesterday's broadcast.
Yep. Tried out NACCL. I tried out NA Storm League yesterday because I usually play on Europe, and it's so interesting how even just being on a different region, people have different skills, different strengths and weaknesses, even playing roughly at the same league level, and prefer different heroes. Like there's a lot more Kira, there's a lot more Cho'Gall on NA than I see on Europe, and on Europe there are more other picks again. So it's cool to see these differences come together, and it is what has made intercontinental matchups, people that don't usually play on the same server, so interesting because you have different metas converging.
And I mean, how good were those Cho'Galls? Let's be honest. Let's talk about the Cho'Gall. I mean, let's
Who
talk
cares?
about the Cho'Gall in the room.
Ban-worthy. Yeah.
See?
Cho'Gall's, he's kind of OP, especially in Storm League. Wait, Cho'Gall's kind of a problem in Storm League, is he not? However,
Yeah.
he's
Like,
an absolute
upheaval?
monster. Yeah.
Upheaval has like 40-second cooldown. You mentioned it was really strong last time, Justin. And then it's reducible 2.4 seconds per auto attack from Cho. And he gets really fast auto attack if you go fist build. So he was doing like upheaval every 15 seconds.
Yes.
Like what?
Cho'Gall's OP.
Yeah, Justin and I have done videos of like showcasing his skill. We've also done how to draft Cho'Gall. So for all the CCL teams that are unsure of how to draft Cho'Gall, we've made a video for you. So just make sure you watch that back over on the HeroesCCL YouTube. But of course, before we get into prizing, Justin, what have you been up to? How have you been? You've been gaming? You've been relaxing? What have you
Yeah,
been doing?
I've been gaming, just taking it slow, chilling a bit,
Nice.
playing some video games. It's been fun.
Okay, all right. Well, it's been a nice, relaxing time in between yesterday and today, and so let's go ahead and take a look at our prizing because maybe we've seen some changes. I have been kind of trying to push the envelope on this one for the community, and maybe we can hit. We're just shy of it, but because of your generosity, we've hit $8,654.44. If you'd like to hit exclamation point prize pool in chat, it'll get you over to the match arena where you could donate. And I know, chat, I know we can hit 9K today. I feel like maybe we can entice Springy to come on stream or something. Maybe we can get a fuzzy friend on stream if we can hit 9K. I don't think that's too far away. Exclamation point prize pool in chat will get you over there. And of course, to be transparent with all of you, 60% will be going to the players. You can see first place taking 35%, and 40% will be coming back to Wisdom to create amazing graphics, run the league, and put on these broadcasts for you every weekend. So thank you as always for everyone at home who have been donating, and thank you as well for subbing, gifting subs and bits in chat as well. But, of course, for anyone that might have missed it, Grubby, can you break down what the league standings look like right now? Because we did have a couple games yesterday.
Yep, we're about halfway the season, Bahamut, and ladies and gentlemen at home. We've got 30K sitting on top. They'll be tested today to see if they can remain sitting with a flawless record. Granite Gaming is the first to go 0-4 in this season. It's been a different team every season, but, you know, even if you are rank 8, it doesn't mean that you're bad. You're just worse right now than the others. This is the same with tier list. Like, there are no useless heroes. There are no useless teams. A lot of teams here sitting on that top 5 record. We have kind of a clear separation in the top 5 with Wildheart, Diamond Hands, Oxygen, and Chili Mountain. In the bottom 3, Storm, Simplicity, and Granite. We'll see Simplicity try to break away from that today with the first match that's going to be coming up. As they go up against Chili Mountain, they get a win there. That could be potentially even seeing them to a top 5 spot if their luck improves. It should be mentioned that Simplicity is the only team that made use of the transfer window to enlist a new player that they substituted for one of their existing. They'll be running with Tiger JK today instead of Porky. Let's see if that brings them some luck.
Yep, we will be jumping into those rosters in just a little bit. Actually, as we're looking at the league standings really quickly, I just want to point out why Wildheart is above Diamond Hands. Wildheart has a 10-4 record, so a positive 6 map score, whereas Diamond Hands has a 9-6 map record with a positive +3 map score. So that is the reason you're seeing that little difference. If anyone is wondering why Wildheart is above, it's not just an alphabetical thing, obviously. But let's take a look. As Grubby was alluding, Justin, we've got 2 amazing best of 5s today.
We sure do. We've got Chili Mountain going up against Simplicity in our first match of the day, which will be interesting to see for us with Simplicity making those roster changes, how that's going to affect them. They have been 0-3 so far in the season, so seeing if that that change that they've made is going to help them. They did have the week off to prepare, so it'll be cool to see Simplicity improve. And we've got 30k going up against Oxygen, which 30k is currently sitting in that first place position. Going to want to see if they can get a almost guaranteed top 3. That's the goal for 30k. And Oxygen, 2-1 right now, looking very strong as well. One of the favorites going into the season from pretty much all the players doing the power rankings. So it's a titan of a matchup, NA versus EU, the thing that Baha loves the most.
Yep, it's my favorite storyline to ever exist in any esport or anything in the entire world. It's totally not overdone constantly or anything like that. But you know what isn't overdone? The amazing sponsors we have. We've got Next Level Gaming joining us for HeroesCCL Season 4. What is Next Level Gaming? They're a Miami-based esports center where you can play Heroes of the Storm among 400 other pre-installed games that are updated daily. Next Level Gaming is a Blizzard cafe, which means you get extra benefits on your account, like extra experience and all heroes being unlocked. Next Level Gaming has HP Omens with Intel i7 processors and RTX 3090 graphics cards. And with such an amazing computer, they've got 2 monitor options for you to play with as well. A 24-inch monitor at 240 Hz or a 32-inch monitor at 144 Hz. Be sure to use !NXT in chat to find out all you can about Next Level Gaming. But of course, we're not done just talking about Next Level Gaming, and, well, we are done talking about Next Level Gaming because we want to talk about gambles. That's what I wanted to get into. We want to talk about HeroesCCL Fantasy. We've partnered with Ball Street to bring you CCLmarkets.com. It's a free pick'em game that lets you choose the HeroesCCL winners in real time as you watch the action. Simply buy shares of the team you think is going to win the matchup and sell shares of the team you think is going to lose. The best part, you can change your mind at any time because the market is always open. Buy and sell all match long to get a better score. Every night, the top traders on CCL Markets will win prizes, and you can compete all season long. Join cclmarkets.com and win prizes as you watch today's broadcast. Some really cool stuff right there, and thank you again to Next Level Gaming and Ball Street for joining us for HeroesCCL Season 4. But let's go ahead, Grubby. Let's start talking about these rosters. Let's take a look at Chili Mountain. They have not changed, but of course, let's remind everyone at home who this roster is.
Yeah, we've got Banana H, Dayquaza, Dino, Masquerade, Ultralist, and Make. Chili Mountain, I believe they didn't run with Masquerade last week, and they had Make on tank that actually looked really good.
I agree.
Dino is often quoted as being perhaps one of the most valuable players, definitely the most valuable ranged assassin among them, and some people would say number 1, maybe some would say 2 or 3, because not just is he very mechanically skilled, but he also has a really good sense of when to do macro pressure on the map as his team does stalling or what have you. Ultralisk is special because he can run Maiev, he can run Kerrigan, some picks that some people may not necessarily have in their repertoire. Dayquaza, the ever stalwart offlaner. This is a very strong team, and they have a deserved 2-1 victory so far. Looking to improve upon it.
They have that map score of 6-4, but on the opposing side of the battleground with an 0-3 record and 0-9 map score. Justin, could you break down the Simplicity side?
Yep, on Simplicity, we've got the mostly Korean roster in Apto, playing the ranged, Dulal, the flex, Burr, the offlane, Wishing, the support, and recently we've made the change this week with Tiger JK stepping in, replacing Porky. So that's the main change, that's what we've been talking about. Uncertain what role Tiger JK will be playing for the team. For those of you who don't know, Tiger JK has been in the scene for quite a long time. He played in a lot of very competitive HoTS back in the day. I actually played on a team with him for 2 seasons. I went to 2 different LANs with him back in 2016. So Tiger JK has been in the scene for quite a long time. He mostly plays support, but he's very flexible, and he plays a lot of different roles. So we'll see if he's playing tank for Porky, or if he'll be playing support, and the rest of the team will be swapping around.
Yeah, Slips was released from the Simplicity roster. I believe it was on Thursday, and then Tiger JK was acquired. Porky was put onto the bench, and Tiger JK will be on the starting. I will say this: I am, and like I've caught slips in some community different leagues and stuff like that, and I really wish I would have had the opportunity to cast him in HeroesCCL, but unfortunately that's not the case, and well, fortunately I guess for Tiger JK, we'll be seeing them in this game, and let's go ahead and actually find out where we're going to for map number 1, and we can continue our discussion on just a lot of these things. I actually had a question from chat to discuss a little bit today, so I'll poke both of you, Justin and Grubby, about that one, but before I start poking you about map concepts and Heroes of Storm concepts, let's tell everyone how we got to Towers of Doom, chosen by Chili Mountain, as they won the coin flip, opting for map pick priority, banning out Dragonshire, Simplicity banning out Garden of Terror, and for anyone wondering, Chili Mountain has a 1-1 record on this Towers of Doom, Simplicity 0-2. But, of course, before we get into the draft, Justin, any thoughts on Towers of Doom as the start-out map? Excuse me.
It's definitely not a map that you see typically as the first map of a series.
Right.
Normally it's kind of more once you're into the thick of things, because it is so kind of high variant, so back and forth. It's not a snowbally map. It's not really the map that you want to come out and just crush somebody on, and especially for Chili Mountain to pick it, it's very weird because Simplicity in their most recent matches, their match on Towers of Doom was by far their best match that they didn't win, where they were up 20-5 shots against Diamond Hands. It was the closest. It seemed like they were going to end the game. Had one team fight gone differently for them at the end, the game would have been over. So to willingly take Simplicity there, it's a bit of a bold move from Chili Mountain in game 1 of the series.
It's a nice one. Like, I think it's also Chili Mountain kind of testing Simplicity. Like, okay, you've got this new player on your roster. How well are you going to synergize on a map that has so many moving parts, Grubby? Like, I know Dragonshire is a very convoluted map, but I feel like Towers of Doom has got a lot of nuance to it.
Yep, I think they're pretty complicated. Dragonshire, perhaps one of the most complicated maps. So yeah, let's see how it goes. It's difficult with a new roster. Don't know how much Tiger JK has been practicing with them just yet, and we'll see how it goes. And who is going to be playing as tank? I know Dulal has been putting some practice in. He was in one of my Storm League NA games yesterday. He's not the healer for Simplicity, but he did play as heal yesterday. Unfortunately, we lost, but it's good to see him trying to get acclimated here to the NA server, as Lucio is going to be the first ban here for Simplicity. We're also thinking about things like Hager, Dahaka, and Blaze as popular bans. With Ogre ban, it means that there doesn't need to be a solo lane ban from Simplicity, because they can get either Dahaka or Blaze.
Yeah, they do have that first pick, and I like that, Grubby, the way you're breaking that down, because it is kind of forced to Chili Mountain to either ban out something like the Blaze, who's so very strong, but a first pick Maiev here, Justin. I'm sure you're a fan of that one.
Very strange, a little bit backwards in the bans coming out so far from Simplicity. You see the Lucio and Junkrat, typically the things that first pick want the most, things that you normally see second pick being forced to ban, but Simplicity being the team to ban them, and now leaving the Dahaka up or Chili Mountain if they choose to go with it. That is kind of the expectation, but there is still things like Urel and Leoric available that you could pick up later in the draft if you want.
Ooh, a Diablo Brightwing. That is a nice 1-2 punch, Grubby.
It's interesting. It goes against what we think we've been building up so far in terms of knowledge. With Blaze Hogger ban, that seems like a mistake by Chili Mountain, but Simplicity doesn't take the third, as we see there's 3 top solo laners. They don't take the third Dahaka, nor does Chili Mountain. They see the Maiev, they're thinking, what could it mean? They even open with the early Diablo, leaving Tychus open, and that is going to get picked up as well. So it's so different from the drafts we have seen so far from both sides, pretty much every draft, that we don't really know what territory we're treading in. And you can see that both teams are kind of taking longer with their picks as well. I wonder what it all means.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of that, like that dance, as you're kind of alluding to, Grubby. Like, it's like, what are they actually trying to get out from us? Because the draft from the side of from Simplicity is, it's so still open, Justin. Like, you and I have done a bunch of draft theory videos, and like there's still so much that Simplicity could go into. Is this a main tank Maiev? They still have, well, Dahaka's gone because all 3 solo laners are banned out by Chili Mountain, but it's a very interesting setup so far from both sides, because in early game Diablo, a lot of us would look at this and go, okay, Simplicity grabs Garrosh, and then anytime Diablo goes in, just throws him away and then shuts him down with the Stukov and the Tychus. But I don't know, Justin. I really don't know what the idea is for Chili Mountain specifically.
I mean, Diablo Brightwing as its own 1-2 isn't bad. It's a good setup. Okay, so this is
okay.
obviously this is
okay. All right, sure.
duh, of course this is what's coming next.
Oh my god.
The Diablo Brightwing is the easy setup for the Sergeant Hammer Lost Vikings that we all come to expect on the 3-4 here. So
Nope.
a little bit weird. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
not.
guys.
Yeah, I don't know what. This is very strange. The Sergeant Hammer is something that we saw quite a bit of second bans against. Pretty much any team that can play it, we saw second bans of Sergeant Hammer. We're now seeing Sergeant Hammer plus the Vikings picked super early. That makes me wonder what their last pick is, if Vikings is not worth saving for last pick for them. That they have something potentially more strange to last pick. It is Tracer.
Okay.
So very strange comp from Chili Mountain. The Zool is the response for the Vikings. Zool very good at double soaking, so that's kind of the expectation is that you're going to leave your 3-man or your 4-man to deal with the Vikings lane that's pushing, the 4-man that's pushing with Sergeant Hammer, and having the Zool just picking up the waves with the mid and top rotations. But now that you have a Tracer, it makes things a little bit more difficult because Zool gets absolutely just monstrously kited by Tracer. So if Zool wants to play in that mid-top rotation and just double soak safely, that's something that you can normally do against just Vikings, but when there's a Tracer, especially played by Dino, chasing you around, being a mosquito, and just staying out of your range permanently, being able to recall your Bone Prison, it might be very difficult for Zool to be able to do what he wants to do. Fortunately for them, they do have Maiev who can also do that if they need to, so they have 2 heroes who can double soak really well on the side of Simplicity. But when it comes to team fights as well, it might be a little bit difficult having the Zool. It doesn't really provide the same level of utility that you normally see from the offlaners. They didn't pick up the Dahaka early on. That might be kind of something that they're going to pay for now, not having a global going into Chili Mountain with their weird siege bottom, most likely, with Viking soaking composition. So the expectation is that Chili Mountain's going to just run it down bottom with Sergeant Hammer, and the Vikings are going to soak everything else, and Dino Tracer is going to make Zool's life miserable. So we'll see if that's how it plays out.
Well, thank you, Justin, for the prediction and the breakdown, because we are loaded on into Towers of Doom on the side of the Raven Lord. We've got Dino on the Tracer, Masquerade on the Diablo, Ultralisk on the Sergeant Hammer, Brightwing, to be played by Banana and Dequaza on the Eric, Olaf, and Baylog. Over on the side of Simplicity, we have got Wishing on the Stukov, Burr will be on the Zool, Dual on the Tychus, Apto on the Anubarak, and we have Tiger JK on the Maiev. Alrighty, Grubby. I love the chaos that is the Chili Mountain draft. I actually really do like their draft or what they put together, especially up against Simplicity. So I'm looking at a Chili Mountain win. I think they can really control the map. I think they can really put a lot of pressure into the side of Simplicity. But of course, what are your thoughts here? We've given you some time to think about all this.
I think Hammer always wants to have a finisher, so whether Vikings are her ally or a reliable solo or duo laner, I think having a finisher is really important, and Tracer is that. Nice, blinking away. Dino, they're doing that mosquito style. Zool is also strong double laner, but note how Vikings are using their Eric. The red minimap icon, that's Eric. His goal will be to dismount Zool in every rotation, just like so many Abathur nests or Lucio. Eric will attack the Zool, Baylog will clear the wave, and Olaf will just stand there and take the XP. And that is gonna make Zool never be able to mount up, basically. Like, he might as well not try, pretty much. That's gonna slow him down, and there's always a chance for Chili Mountain to go in to gank the Zool. Even now, Zool is being chased by Eric. So, Simplicity is gonna try to deal with that, to take big 5-man fights and say, we'll never beat you at the XP game, but if all of us come together and kill you often enough, that might be good enough. So let's see the price they pay for it. They take the Sapper, and how much XP will they lose is gonna be the question.
Masquerade does get pulled around. There will be a recall from Tracer to get away from this engagement, but Masquerade cannot back off quick enough, and that's going to be first blood to the members of Simplicity. Looks like the roster change is completely, you know, they're going to win every game now, obviously.
Yep. Tiger JK comes in, and first blood already. But, of course, keep in mind that in the early game, one wave is worth more XP than one hero kill.
Oh, Burr
if he had bomb.
Yeah, and did Dino actually have bomb and just didn't utilize it? I'll have to check back and maybe see, because they use it immediately. Either way, there is going to be an engagement into mid lane. Umbra connecting onto 2. Diablo getting pulled around right there, and this is just going to be a clear in the lane. No actual threat to be had. Oh, sorry, I I thought I caught it that he had bomb, but no, it wasn't that case. Either way, triple altar phase coming up first.
Yeah, nice draft setup here. Really, really different. Chili Mountain focused on removing those 3 duo laners to put them on a weaker duo laner, and that is Zul for now. So the thing about Zul, he pushes and depushes really well, but he's not necessarily as safe as a Hager, a Dehaka, or a Blaze might be. They'll try to abuse that, but that's neither here nor there. Vikings really come into play stronger on Towers of Doom in the later game. That's where they get even a lot stronger, because they can take altars and you don't give up any valuable hero. Double channel here for Chili Mountain. They're off to a nice start, but looks like Diablo is under big threat.
Polymorph will come through. Maev scampers away as a crab, and Dino just continues to build up his Pulse Bomb. I did check back. He did not have Pulse Bomb until after Zul had already crossed through that front gate, so I was hoping. But actually, as we take a look at the top right of the minimap, and in the game as well, Berber did not get the channel just yet. Dequaza on the Eric was constantly just interrupting. Apto gets Polymorph. There's going to be a Healing Pathogen spread, and Recall from Tracer to mitigate the Bone Prison from Zul.
Wow, we don't often see Diablo going for auto attack talent. I'm quite surprised about the auto attack build into something like Tychus. You wonder if he gets enough time on the front line to really make use of that. A lot of delays here. All the delays are super valuable here for Chili Mountain because they have Sergeant Hammer pushing bottom. They've got Vikings stoking every lane. This came at great cost for simplicity. Chili Mountain always has time on their side.
Looking at just at this mid lane engagement, but nothing of concern. We do have that hover siege picked up at level 4. Look at all those spider mines in their rotation.
So many mines. It's 9 mines. I don't think it lasts long.
Did you ever give a thought about doing the Abathur Sergeant Hammer mine build that Justin and I were telling you about yesterday?
Yeah, I prefer not to have Abathurs on my team usually, so it's kind of a hard combination to make. But do you mean Toxic Nest plus Spider Mine, or do you mean copying Hammer and then laying 2 more Spider Mines?
The former, the Toxic Nest build.
I guess you could do both. It would be sick. It could be like
it actually
9,
there's I'll
15 Spider Mines and like 9 Toxic Nests. There could be like 24 mines or so in one place.
We'll find you a good clip from that game to show you how good it is, and then you'll definitely want to do that as well. I actually learned I've been playing more like Abathur here and there. Like I actually have been moving away from the slow on the mines because I feel like people step into it and then they just turn away. Yeah, it actually hinders you a little bit. But regardless, let's talk about the hover siege.
Mines shouldn't take the slow exactly because they get to react.
You want them to walk through it, but here come 3 sappers through the bottom lane. Sergeant Hammer knocking back Dulal, who is trying to step up and do something here. More spider mines just to scout out around that camp, but a single altar in the bottom lane seems like it should be decided. Chili Mountain, who have a solid level lead, and when we look at the experience breakdown, Grubby, it is 4,000, roughly 4,000 difference in just minion experience.
Yep.
That's Viking value for you.
That's Viking value when teams decide to split 5-man against Vikings. That's where they try to get kills and give up minion XP. You can also split 1-1-3. Yeah. And in that case, usually you get the same amount of XP as Vikings, but you end up losing a hero because the 1-1-3 are more vulnerable. So you gotta choose between 2 evils. Every now and then, the non-Viking team gets ahead in XP early, but it's usually because the Viking team is playing bad. I'm thinking Storm League here. Because it's very forgiving to play Vikings early game. Late game, Vikings can start to struggle because they are not always as good of a team fighter. However, Vikings do have an objective advantage because they can take more objectives at the same time than someone else. Oh, the final auto attack from Banana H! Nice job, he's got that bonus range. Gets the kill on Maev there.
Nice utilization of the level 4 right there, that magic spit for the 1.1 range increase, and that is going to be another kill to the side of Chili Mountain as Zul will finish out his level 4. And I'm looking, the Maev went into the pin down at level 4. We have Nubarek with the Regeneration Globe quest at level 1. I've been testing out different... Oh, Dino, you're doing more of this, huh? I love it. I actually do really love this. For anyone that doesn't know, Dino did this last season on Li Ming and Tracer on Alterac Pass with the boss. taking that boss. I believe it was 2 different games where it was one time Li Ming, one time Tracer. So this is actually just really, really cool right here. I'm glad Bud's caught this for us. But either way, like Chili Mountain, they're just really getting ahead of the enemy team quite quickly here.
If Dino had done this in QA, in playtesting, I wonder if the boss would have been designed differently, with like a charge if it gets kited after 3 seconds.
No, that's actually, I wonder, yeah, that's actually really true. I had a point about Anubrex level 1, but I got distracted by Dino.
So
Either way.
Anubrak wants his level 1 because there's not much spell damage on the other side. He's mostly facing auto attack damage, and that's why he has this regen master.
Because I've been... Yeah, go ahead.
Nice kill there on Masquerade with the Diablo kill. That means that they can kind of stop the bleeding in terms of the tower shots. It gets back a nice chunk of experience as well. Dulal is... BFG, also a stalling tactic. Eric actually gets away with the blink heal. In comes Dino again, and he gets another interrupt.
5 seconds on Diablo. There's no sender teleportation open and available, and this is going to be everyone trying to chase onto Dino. He gets the phase shift. The lurking arm with the low blow almost finds the kill, as Tracer was trying to mount up. Tiger JK is trying to get the channel. Seems like Dequaza won't be able to get the interrupt, and Eric is going to try and swiftly run away. Cocoon will connect onto Tracer, but Masquerade is back into the mix. Berber trying to back away. Here's the Apocalypse that stops, well, actually almost hits every single person on the side of Simplicity, as Apto's getting very low. He tries to back away. The Pulse Bomb goes off. It actually kills the Anubarak. Berber assisting in the kill, as Tiger JK is trying to get the Spirit of Vengeance out. Gets a good fan of knives, gets another one right there, gets polymorph, gets split, the lurking arm, the auto attack is not enough, and that'll be Tiger JK backing off with 100 and something HP.
Nice job there by Chili Mountain. Huge Apocalypse. Nice protection of Tracer there, who would be caught in the middle of the silencing arm of Stukov. But time and time again, we have Banana Age coming through with his Brightwing with the clutch saves. This composition so far is working wonders for Chili Mountain. Their draft strategy, very, very straightforward with their bans, really isolating away those double laners. They knew what they were doing. And like we said, Towers of Doom, unusual map. They have this strategy here with Hammer that's going to loom large for Simplicity in all future games, that this Sergeant Hammer, even Vikings, these picks you don't always see, are big threats against them.
And that, like, that's, you can pull a ban slot, absolutely. Berber is getting chased in right now. The phase shift from Brightwing comes through as well. Skeletal mages are attempted, but not gonna buy enough time, as the top lane fort sits around 50% HP. I seriously, yeah, I think that was really well done. Now, we do see a trade. Ultralisk is trying to find some value in bottom. Nice utilization of the knockback onto Tiger JK, who did throw out the containment disc at the end of that. Zool dead for 10 seconds. Bottom, Brightwing should get top over. Dino just going for the channel outright. Oh, they get both of these. Okay, 6 shots.
Wait, he interrupted himself. He thinks that Brightwing can get the top fort kill before he wants to channel it.
There, yeah. All right, so 7. Nice.
Very nicely done.
I'm just looking at the Viking build right now. We actually do have one of my favorite level 16s for the Vikings, that large and charge on the Olaf, so you have the 1 second stun when he goes in. It's such a great tool to actually engage and set up fights with your Vikings. So you just kind of flank in with the Olaf, you get that stun, and the rest of your team can make plays off of it. We'll see how that will be utilized, as we actually still have Olaf and Eric's hanging out in mid lane. Baylog up in the top, still soaking out, as Zool looks like he's going to try and do something, as Ultralisk gets forced back on this hover siege mode, throws out some mines. Apto is getting a little bit low, goes in for the burrow. Dual is going to get hit with the pulse bomb. Here comes Dequaza with the 2 Vikings. Has the play again if he wants to utilize it. There's the cocoon onto Tracers. The Apocalypse will come through. Apto very low. That's 1 Viking to go down, and that was over in the top lane from the Zool. Apto still low. Dual pops the Commandeer. Oh, and there's that stun from Olaf, and it sets up the kill for Sergeant Hammer with the BFG. And now Apto's split. Dino wants the kill, but the tower shots. Oh, nice recall.
Oh, great
Beautiful.
play again there by Vikings coming in as well. He's got the Nordic attack squad. All of them half percentage damage, 125 each. That's 375% per auto attack. When they are together, you see the orange circles around them. This gives huge burst damage. When Vikings run in on someone, you get the 1 second stun from Olaf. You get all the percentage damage auto attacks and a big spin to win on someone's face. Vikings are now a proper team fighter. I've been running similar build to this, not with the Nordic attack squad, and this must be even more damage. You do give up the jump. They don't get the invulnerability frames, and that kind of nice utility, but he's really just relying on a big blow up, and that makes sense for competitive.
I mean, Who needs iframes when you can just win the fight? See, it's just easy.
Invincibility frames, right?
Yeah. Who needs those iframes? It's just don't take CC. Dayquaza actually trying to back away right now on this Olaf, and he will actually go down. Yeah, I know the jump is actually really strong, but Nordic Attack Squad, if used properly, can be such a punishing tool. Oh my God!
Oh, nicely done by Berber there.
Oh
Jeez.
yeah. Good skeletal mages to deny the sappers to jump over.
2 out of 3 stop right there, as the boss could potentially get to a point where Simplicity only has 2 core HP left. There's a Warden's Cage.
We'll have the silence on Diablo. The lurking arm is there as well. Big BFG coming out from Ultralisk as there's a cocoon onto Brightwing. Apocalypse from Diablo. Apto gets shredded. Tiger JK will be popped like a pimple. And there goes the Zool as well. Dulal being chased by Dino, trying to find another kill. And Dulal tries to back away. Tracer goes in. And it's not just a singular kill. It's not just a double kill. It's a pentakill for the side of Chili Mountain.
Yeah, that's going to be GG. They're going to convert all the forts. They're going to run in sappers. They can either do 3 sappers and then boss, or they can just convert mid fort plus sappers or mid fort plus boss. There's many different ways that this can go. What a quick, stompy game, Bahamut.
I gotta be honest, you know, I don't. Yeah,
for
like,
once,
I don't like calling games like stompy or like one-sided, but damn, did Chili Mountain look good here? They looked so good with how they played this. Like, it's execution too. Like Dino is playing so on point. Masquerade, yeah, he had some deaths here and there, but overall, this composition built by Chili Mountain, it's something to be feared, something to really consider in the future. I actually thought the BFG was the last rocket, but there is the last shot into the Gravekeeper. GG to Chili Mountain. Beautifully played, Grubby. Honestly, like, beautifully played. I think that's the biggest thing to take away from all of that is the way that Chili Mountain executed. They shut down any sort of really major attempt from Simplicity. And the big thing, too, that I noticed consistently was even though Chili Mountain lost out a member here and there, it didn't seem like a detriment. It didn't seem like a major loss. It was like, okay, like, Diablo goes down, we can still do whatever we really need to do across the map. So, really interesting stuff, but of course, Justing, you've had time to watch this. You've had time to think about things. Is this the best comp that you've ever seen in HeroesCCL?
It's pretty close. I think Vikings have... Okay, Vikings are, I think, a problem in the game. I think that they're really just overtuned in general if you know how to play them, but most people don't know how to play them. So Dayquaza, knowing how to play them, showing how strong they are. You would think in theory that something like Azul would be able to kind of match the double soak, and that was the response that Simplicity had, but when you see a good Vikings played well by Dayquaza, you don't even need to have Tracer be the one who's interrupting his rotation. You just put Eric on him constantly, and he's just microing the Eric to make Zool have zero fun playing the game. I remember thinking back to a game in a scrim that we had where I drafted my teammate, I believe it might have been Goku at some point playing Malthael into Vikings, and him just having the least fun he's ever had in any game ever probably because he just has an Eric constantly hitting him when he's trying to walk around. He could never mount up the whole game. And we saw that this game. They had kind of a perfect setup for Chili Mountain where they have, if you ever play for any objective, you're going to have Sergeant Hammer just constantly split pushing bottom by herself or with her team. You're going to have the rest of the team pressuring the caps while Vikings cap for Chili Mountain, and Chili Mountain is also soaking lanes with Vikings during this time. So Simplicity is pretty much permanently playing on a very short timer at all points in the game. Chili Mountain is getting value by basically just not dying, and Simplicity is the team that would be forced to make plays happen, would be forced to engage, and it's always better to be the team that doesn't have the burden of execution, that needs to be the team to go in. And in this situation, Simplicity was basically the team that had that burden, that needed to get the perfect engage every single fight, just constantly. And if you're Chili Mountain, all you have to do, if you're in the 3-man or the 4-man, is just not die. That's pretty much it. And that's a lot easier to do than get kills. So you have... This was the fight that kind of just ended the game for the most part. You had this huge just turret dive in bot lane, a fort dive, just really good team fighting by Chili Mountain in the late game. In the early game, Simplicity's 4-man actually looked a little bit stronger, but it didn't... You mentioned it too, that they got a couple kills, mostly onto Masquerade. He wasn't maybe respecting the amount of damage output from the Tychus and the CC between the Maiev and the Stukov in the early game. But it didn't really matter because getting a pick onto Diablo isn't really going to change much for you when the map is kind of just falling apart. They basically had the perfect setup for Chili Mountain on a macro front. All of these heroes, besides Vikings and Sergeant Hammer, realistically don't really matter. You could kind of plug them in with anything in the same role, and they would be able to do the same thing on the map. So based on that, the priority of draft might change a little bit, at least against Chili Mountain on Towers of Doom, because between Sergeant Hammer and Vikings, it kind of creates a macro checkmate if you don't have really good tools to deal with it, like a Dahaka and a Falstad, for example. Not having something like that for simplicity makes it pretty much unplayable against the Chili Mountain comp. So I like to see the innovation, especially with Dino soloing boss. That's not a thing that we've seen before. So it's nice to see him finding ways to innovate, even with, I mean, the game's been out for a while. It's not solved, and Dino's still finding new things. So really impressive to see that, and Chili Mountain's looking super strong.
Chili Mountain looking strong to kick things off, and we already know where we're going to for map number 2, so let's get everyone caught up onto that, because, Grubby, we're going to Battlefield of Eternity, chosen by Simplicity.
Yep, makes sense. Take it to a smaller, simpler map where it's not so much about cheese. Doesn't mean that they think that they're going to be able to, like, definitely win now, bringing it here, but it is definitely simpler than a more complicated map like Towers of Doom or Dragonshire, where how do you know what to respond to? There's Vikings, there's Hammer, there's a Tracer going around. On Battlefield of Eternity, it's not that solo laning or side laning before the objective doesn't matter anymore and camp setup, but it is a lot more straightforward. I remember the last time people really made an art form out of side soaking on Battlefield of Eternity, where that was really seen as an important thing, outside of just the team fight and the objective itself, was back when Glorung was still playing. So in those days, you would see like people go either Abathur or Zeratul or Valera, and those heroes, Glorung went Valera. He was an NA player, for those that don't know him. Loved to play the melee assassins. And then you would have like Valera and Zeratul going to clear top and bot, while everyone else was standing at a Western shootout around the Immortals in the center. But these days, it's we don't really see those cloakies anymore on BOE.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? Chili Mountain could innovate. I mean, who doesn't remember Season 1, June playing Lost Vikings 3 stacking on Battlefield top lane? Because I surely don't. But tiny little Grubby. Hi, little Grubby. Hi. Are you joined us today, little Grubby? Oh, he's a little too shy. Sorry. Okay, well, he's a little too scared for CCL. That's okay. We can go ahead and start breaking down Battlefield of Eternity for all of you at home. And Justin, any thoughts as well on the map setup here?
Yeah, definitely a better map to go to for Simplicity, as it did feel like they were mostly winning the early game fights in the 4-man and the 4v4, where the rest of the map was sort of just falling apart, but there's not a lot of tools for them in the last game to deal with that, so taking them to a map like Battlefield does make a lot of sense. If you think that you can win those small fights, those early game skirmishes, then bringing someone to Battlefield is definitely your best option. Chili Mountain, much less likely to play the same type of composition. The Hammer, I think, is going to be a recurring problem, though, for teams that do not play it. I think you're going to be forced to either learn how to play Sergeant Hammer or permanently ban it. The hero really just seems that strong and that unique. You can have it just hold a side lane if you want at pretty much any point. Just split pushing if you're ever left alone. It's sort of like a more team fight focused version of something like a Samuro that would just split push anytime it's left alone, but unlike Samuro, Sergeant Hammer, very strong at team fighting at pretty much all points in the game. So that's still something I'd be looking at, but aside from that, I'd like to see the Maiev priority go down for Simplicity. Maiev is not really being prioritized at that level for most of the teams, so you're kind of just limiting yourself in the draft if your priority on a specific hero like that is just way higher than everyone else's.
Ooh, we'll actually see the Diablo removed from the side of Chili Mountain. Interested on that one, actually, because they... I'm actually I wonder why they got rid of that. It's not his best map per se, but either way, I guess maybe it's just what they plan to build, Grubby. I see you pondering as well. Like I'm like, maybe it's what the members of Chili Mountain plan to build. They don't want to go up against the Diablo. It could be a counter.
Yeah, I don't know what in particular is scared of
Sure.
Diablo. I suppose Li Ming might like to not play against Diablo quite as much because of the Soul Shield. Can pretty much not make a big impact. it probably means you're not looking to pick up Leoric, Malthael, Tychus, Garrosh, or Stitches, which can be quite good, all of those against Diablo. Yeah, maybe not a classical auto attacker that tends to shred Dibbles.
Well, let's see what we actually get for the start. It's going to be a Hanzo. It's Justin, I've actually been seeing some discourse like on Twitter and like even people have been talking about it when I've been casting other stuff. Like a lot of dislike for Hanzo lately. He's put kind of lower on some of the tier lists that I've been seeing pop up lately too. Any reason for that? He hasn't changed. I feel like he's still pretty flexible, viable.
So Hanzo's a little bit weird in his playstyle. He plays more like a poke hero than a normal sustained damage auto attack hero.
Okay.
He's not really the same type of damage threat as like a Grey Main would be. He plays a much more slow playstyle. He almost plays similar to something like a Li Ming, or sort of in between like a Li Ming, the way that Lunara plays now, or like almost a little bit how like a Sergeant Hammer would play, but with less sustained damage and more poke. He's very weird to play. I do think that the Diablo ban is partially a target ban against Apto, because it does feel as though that was kind of priority for him in their earlier weeks, as he really needed the Diablo. It feels like it's just, in last game, prioritizing it so heavily was mostly a deny pick, and then now not being able to get it with the first 2 picks and not being willing to first pick it, just banning it out. I think it's a target ban against Apto. And also stylistically, if you did want to go for a poke composition with something like Hanzo Li Ming, which they're only going to get the Hanzo now, you don't really want to play into Diablo for that, with that either. So getting Lucio though on the 2-3 seems a little bit illegal for Chili Mountain. Lucio has been basically never making it this far in any of the drafts, and Junkrat is still available and hasn't been picked, and we're about to go into the second ban phase. So both of these teams having some very strange priorities, and Simplicity prioritizing the Li Ming. They probably don't even want a Junkrat unless they're willing to play something weird like a Malthael later in the draft.
Feels like next we're going to see something like Stukov Greymane to try and one-shot people with Taunt, Silence, and maybe Cursed Bullet. That would make sense for what they're building so far. They showed Variant so early that I'd be really surprised if it wasn't something exactly like that. And it's going to be the Brightwing and the Greymane instead, so pretty much along expectations. And keep in mind that whatever else happens, from the very first pick that Simplicity did, Chili Mountain knew exactly what they're running. The moment you show that variant, you know what kind of draft is coming, and that is a little weak usually, unless we are wowed by the final pick here of Simplicity.
I was looking really quickly to see what Junkrat's ban rate is. It's 93% in the season, and he's been played like, I think, 3 times or something like that. Yeah, he's been played like 3 times. He's got like a 33% win rate or something very low like that. But of course, Justin, we're getting our last pick from the side of Simplicity. It's going to be...
Wow.
The people have wanted Artanis, specifically one person, Crushinator, have wanted Artanis. We finally get it, but of course, Justin, break it on down and why Artanis is the perfect pick to round out Simplicity's draft.
So Artanis is actually, I mean, this is the map for Artanis, because he has amateur opponent at level 1, so he's good at soloing the objective if you have a 4-1 split, where you have your 4-man go and just bully the enemies while you have one person doing the objective. I actually prefer Simplicity's composition. I think it's actually just a lot better than Chili Mountains for the map and for like stylistically into each other. You have Greymane Li Ming, which is kind of a old school combo, and especially something that the Korean teams back in the day used to play nearly exclusively if it was available. It was pretty much always just Curse Bullet into Li Ming combo, so you have the ability to one-shot anyone on the front line with the combination of those things. Also, not going into the Stukov, I think, is better here. Taking the Brightwing, being able to get that late in the draft is really strong. It makes it so that even a high 5 has to be kind of perfectly timed, almost ahead of time, to actually stop the one-shot, because the damage will come out so quickly. And they don't have enough poke to really threaten, so they have to go into this stuff with the taunt and the polymorph. I actually think Simplicity's composition is a lot better, so if they lose this game, I think Chili Mountain's going to 3-0.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and see what happens here, because on the left-hand side, we have the members of Chili Mountain. We've got Ultralisk on the Hanzo, Masquerade on the Muradin, Dino on the Tracer, Dayquaz on the Urel, and Banana with his Steer on Lucio. Little Monka Steer from him. Simplicity over on the right will be having Wishing on the Brightwing, Duel on the Greymane, Berber on the Artanis. We'll be seeing Tiger JK on the Li Ming and Varian to be played by Apto. I am staring at Artanis' level 1, and I am physically nervous as it is taking this long, Grubby, to choose the correct amateur opponent talent. Please, for the love of God, please take amateur opponent. But
nothing else is possible. You don't need to worry. You're safe with me here. Don't worry.
Oh, please, just hold me, Grubby. Hold me, Grubby. No! Berber might be the one who needs to get held next because that was a fantastic interrupt onto the phase shift by Banana. And he goes...
Okay.
No!
I know. No! First of all, why does he go back in? He was safe, I think. Maybe the final auto attack from Lucio would have taken him down. Okay, but why does he go for Protective Ire? What is this, Storm League? You're playing Protective Ire into a team that has Dwarf block on Muradin, the one that you are most easily able to hit, and then everyone else is like far too mobile for you to get a lot of stacks. This kind of talent, it's a scaling talent, yes, but scaling talents have no value initially, and other talents do have value initially. So what makes a scaling talent, like a quest talent that is uncapped, good? It's if you can scale faster than the average expectation and value for it. And in pro play, that's almost never the case. It's only good when the alternatives are weak, and in this case, amateur opponent would probably be better. But let's see how far he gets. Anything under 150 stacks by the end of the game is not good. Of course, there was no point to go reactive parry because with Tracer... Oh my god, Banana Age! And, for that matter, Tiger JK. Nice escapes for both, to be honest.
Yeah. Phase shift from Brightwing will be utilized to buff up that HP. Masquerade on the Muradin does drop to around 50%, and Dino a little low as well as the Impaler camp is being pushed in through top. Banana takes a massive Arcane Orb to the face right there as Urel jumps in, Righteous Hammer to push back the Impaler camp so that it stops dealing damage to the fort front gate and more so to the enemy, or to the allies defending. And Hanzo in bottom lane was poking out. He's working on the level 1. Want to point out that the Muradin did go Sledgehammer at level 4, did not go for the Reverberation for the cooldown reduction or any other changes, or any other benefits. But the nice thing about this level 4, as we talked about yesterday, it gives you good race potential during the objective. Post level 10, and with Bronzebeard Rage, it is a great siege and, as I mentioned, racing tool with the Immortals. But here comes our first Immortal phase, and it's going to be Belith and Ilarion in the north and south positioning for these teams.
Simplicity is off to a very good start, actually. Despite losing Artanis early game, they killed 3 towers before the first objective phase, and the Bruiser camp normally gets stopped by 2 towers. Even if you don't defend it, it won't do much, but because the towers are gone, top Bruiser camp is a big problem for Chili Mountain. However, they were fast at racing, with all 5 of them completely ignoring the Bruiser camp. Even now, they're sending Urel. I was like, wow, that's quite surprising. Taunt on Tracer!
Dino able to drop the bomb onto Berber, who picks up a 14th stack, a little bit more right there as a couple autos do go into Muradin, but Ultralisk with no mana working on the race, and Simplicity a little late to the race as that was some great delay from Banana and crew. I love the way that Chili Mountain actually just played that. They stepped in to defend, but they still had Ultralisk racing, which typically it doesn't go as well as this, I feel. Like usually the person racing on the left is just taking forever, but it is that value from Hanzo. He does have the level 4. Dino getting the Righteous Hammer onto Apto, who is going to be Storm Bolted, but no follow-up damage to be found.
Yeah, very well managed by Chili Mountain. 1 Racer, 1 Defender of the Bruiser camp, 3 Sacrificial Lamps, and they survived as they threatened people there. Artanis is going to have a very rotten time trying to get away from these 4. I feel like the Brightwing port is just going to see them both dying here in this rotation. But Wishing does stay alive. I don't know why he's trying to help more.
You know, it's one of those things where it's just like, Wishing is just a martyr for the team. Just like, I will sacrifice myself as well for both of us to die. But with the second kill, that pushes the members of Chili Mountain up by about a half a level or more. They've got that 7 talent here already, as that was just hit by the members of Simplicity. And we will be having the second win for the Varian at level 7. I feel like with Taunt, we don't see this too often.
Yep, that's true. We don't often see that. Decent, I guess,
smash,
on the Immortal.
Great, but, oh, hold on. Wishing. Uh-oh.
Wow. Really nice clean kill, actually. Chili Mountain is very good at knowing how they can get a kill, even though I thought that was just going to be like random poke damage, bolt, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And in comes Lucio, in comes Tracer, and it materializes into a real kill. Meanwhile, look at this. Chili Mountain stopping everyone from going top so that the bruiser, Yrel, she is a bruiser, Yrel can kill the top fort.
Swap attempted from Berber, didn't connect. 35 stacks on the Protector of Ire from level 1. Hanzo actually only at 5 stacks on his simple geometry, but if we take stock of who he's been going up against, he's been kind of solo laning per se as the fight breaks out once again near top lane. A taunt onto the very end, the Polymorph comes through. Masquerade will fall. That is the first kill to the side of Simplicity, and that's timing-wise... I was going to say, timing-wise, it actually is still beneficial to Chili Mountain. They get the fort through top, they have pressure through bottom. Masquerade will respawn before the objective phase. He still has to make the rotation, but honestly, Grubby, this is like we discussed yesterday. Even though Masquerade went down, this is still a positive for Chili Mountain. Oh, bye.
Yeah, it's a fort dive, but it's with Lucio, so even if you take tower aggro, with that movement speed, you're able to quickly go outside of it. Everyone can share their health bar. 2 forts down pretty much by the 7-minute mark. It started off well for Simplicity. 3 towers by the 3-minute mark. But I'm going to choose 2 forts before the 7-minute mark over that. Chili Mountain is just playing phenomenally again. Good picks here. Lucio is an absolute terror on this map.
Lucio, I mean, the movement speed between Tracer and Lucio, and that combined as well, is absolutely terrifying. And then Dequaza with these righteous hammers has just been so beautifully on point, angling people right into walls or just kind of getting that collision. Seriously, Chili Mountain are just really, really playing well. Of course, when we look at Simplicity, they've got 10 talent, a level away, so realistically, the expectation is Simplicity turtles up, they eat the Immortal, and they try and defend, hopefully not losing more than a keep.
Yeah, I guess that's the goal here. And
that's what I'd be doing if I was the Simplicity side. But of course, if you have any, I don't know. I'm just trying to get some insight as to what they could maybe do to turn things around. But it doesn't even seem like that's even going to be possible right here.
Yeah, they started the consolation prize, but it's being stolen away. They're level 9.8. It's just not enough. Just not enough to jump in. Actually, I think you should jump in. And oh wait, never mind. They did capture that camp already. Okay. That was just Chili Mountain clearing the conquest.
Yeah.
Camp already.
I was staring at it too. I was like, oh wow, they didn't get it. And then I saw the 2 hounds spawn. I'm like, oh wait a second. But yeah. Here comes Big Bad Alarian through the bottom lane, and he's going to be dealing 1,236 damage into structures, 618 standard. But of course, look at Masquerade and Dequaza.
Okay, Artanis just swapped himself into the enemy team, but it didn't go over the wall, so it's just him that's marooned on the outside. He didn't abduct anybody. High five there on Murden. Murden trying to get away. There was the blind from Artanis. It's run out. Now he's at risk. Right wing heal popping through, and Artanis still is getting focused. He jumps through to get a shield. Gets another blink heal from Brightwing, but it was all for naught. He goes down.
Ardent Defender used by Dequaza gets the Divine Steed insta-mount, and here is the keep already falling to 50%. Larian drops to his auto-attack form where he loses his shielding, and that's a big Righteous Hammer once again, but there's no Ardent Defender this time. That will be a reset for Li Ming. Tiger JK with no mana trying to do something here as the Scatter Arrow almost gets the kill onto him. Apto gonna get bopped by the Immortal. Here comes an attempted swap by Berber. It won't connect. More poke out from Hanzo as he picks up 12 stacks on his simple geometry. And there's the keep to fall through bottom. Top lane's got a wave. And we still have a solid experience advantage to Chili Mountain.
Masquerade was hitting mid tower by himself.
I saw that, yeah. I was like, why? What are you trying to just get higher siege damage than someone on your team? What's going on? Oh, he's trying to break 10k on siege. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's I only ever attack mid tower when I think we are completely unable to lose the game. Because that usually doesn't do anything. Yeah. That's the absolute state of things here at this time. Berber looking for some kind of quality swap. But look at that. Everyone has mobile. Oh, that's a 3-man arrow. Double Stormbolt.
Urel goes in, polymorph. She tries to get a nice Righteous Hammer and does connect onto a few. Apto gets the taunt onto Banana. Curse Bullet goes out, and that's Greymane to fall. Apto low goes down on the left-hand side. Berber will fall as well. It's a quadra kill. It's gonna be another pentakill to the side of Chili Mountain. And I have a gut feeling here, Grubby, at 10 minutes and 4 seconds, we're gonna be seeing Chili Mountain rush through the middle of the map. Instead of going for bottom lane keep, no, they're styling on this one, and they're gonna just
Kill all the towers. That tower, yeah, they're pinging that tower too. Okay, let's jump into the comms for Chili Mountain. Let's go.
Oh, are you serious right now with me?
I was actually, but
I was writing down a Chili Mountain win in my notebook.
no, leave your notebook until the game is over, bro.
Right, let's go. You want to go in?
Yeah, sure. Let's go, Chili Mountain.
Oh, Kevin is going.
I can re-engage soon. We have Aaron soon. No, we have Aaron too. Look here.
Okay.
I don't know. Bing.
Coming. Oh.
I'm still in.
Okay, I think we're on.
Yeah. You can't help him out. Okay.
Push me.
Now we race.
Push mid.
How do they know if I can say burn?
They're still going. Okay.
Yeah, with the map. We could fight here. Are you ready? Big step.
I'm thinking from top side.
You book it
I'm
to
going
step.
in now, I'm going in.
I'm ready, yeah.
Varian, no shot.
I got full lead. No chance.
Artanus?
Ming. No, Ming.
Oh, we have a bomb. Perfect.
Grey next.
Alex? Dead?
Top side. Okay.
Varian?
Wait, it's gonna 1v1 me. I need help.
Oh no!
Respect me what you wanna.
Coming.
No, don't respect.
I'm watching.
Respect.
No.
Respecting.
I'm on your speed.
You can then respect
that.
Nice. Didn't eat a single bomb.
Don't be ends? Okay, we race.
Mid.
You have cleanse banana on me?
Yeah.
You know, Grubby, you want to know my takeaway from those comms?
What?
That was like playing Storm League with your friends when you know you're going to win. Like,
it's like a 5-man team league with 3 Smurfs. Is what it is. Or back when team league was a thing, and you could like be 5-man ranked together against all solo queues, or like 5-man quick match. That's actually what it is for me. 5-man quick match with sweaty comms against a quick match solo queue team.
I do want to. The one big takeaway that I love from the entire thing we heard was literally Dino. Like Dino actually shot calling a lot of the targeting was really cool to hear as the tracer in that. If anyone doesn't know the voices, that was the predominant voice you did hear.
Yeah. I also like the push mid.
Yes. Well, it's another pentakill for the side of Chili Mountain. This time they go lethal. This time they want to end the game, and it's going to be over at about 12 minutes and 50-some seconds. Well played from them. A shorter map than map number 1.
Didn't think
by
it was possible.
by about 30 or so seconds, actually.
Really? I thought it was 14 plus minutes.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah, I wrote down, I had a 5 kill at 13:30 last game, and this was a 5 kill at 12:57, so still, GG to Chili Mountain.
GG? 4-level lead. Well played. Justin?
Yeah, please, just break.
That was the best game of Heroes of the Storm I've ever watched.
Huh?
It was up there. I liked when they pushed mid. I think Chili Mountain is having a little bit too much fun in this series after watching that game. Game 1, I was pretty excited to see the draft being really innovative and unique. This game, I thought that Chili Mountain had a significantly worse draft if the execution level was the same, but Simplicity just getting outclassed by Chili Mountain here in this game on BOE. You could hear it in the comms when they were calling to push mid on BOE. That's not the traditional strategy that you see. I think that you touched on it pretty well when we listened to the comms, that they're kind of having fun and that they're vibing, and that they just know that they're better than Simplicity right now. And Chili Mountain, yeah, hopefully they don't take it too far. I'm a little scared to see Game 3's draft after them doing so well in that game. I was hoping to see the amateur opponent from Simplicity on the Artanis. I was really hoping that we would get to see some good like 4-1 defensive play, but did go with the stacks, which was very strange. It's really not what you expect. Getting punished for it as well by Chili Mountain.
It just feels like Storm League. The Ming, the Artanis, the low amount of CC that they had, and then even that level 1 from Artanis just feels like they ported it straight from Storm League.
I think the comp for Simplicity is better. I think their composition should be able to win, but they really just don't have the execution. They need to be able to taunt and just combo everything, have Leeming spells available with the Brightwing Poly and the Curse Bullet. They should be able to one-shot anyone on the front line post-level 10, and even post-level 4, they should have been able to get one-shots onto any of the squishy members, but the coordination from Simplicity is just definitely not there yet, which, to be fair, they just made a big roster change, so it's not to be completely unexpected, especially with them being 0-3 in the league so far, but yeah, Chili Mountain is just way better. They had a sustainy composition where they had a lot of heroes who could kind of function on their own individually quite well. Things like Yrel that are really self-reliant, Muradin very self-reliant, even Lucio as a support is really self-reliant. So having all these types of heroes kind of just, if Simplicity fails the one-shot, then they just automatically lose the fight due to all these kind of just self-reliant, self-healing kind of heroes from Chili Mountain. And once again, it's sort of the burden of execution is on Simplicity in the team fights, where they have to combo everything perfectly to get a one-shot. And if they're capable of that, they should have won fights, but they were not capable of that, and Chili Mountain hyper aware of the win condition for Simplicity, being able to play around it well. So Chili Mountain just looks like a much better team right now.
Chili Mountain definitely freezing out the competition here. They are doing so insanely well in this one, and really liking what they've built so far, momentum. It is a fantastic series thus far, and we're not done with it just yet because obviously it is a best of 5, but we are going to take a short little break. In that break, I encourage you to spam, I'm sorry to all the Twitch moderators, to spam ! Prize pool in chat. Get yourself over to the Matcherino, and I know, chat, we can burst our way beyond that 9,000 mark. We're at $8,654.44 because of your generosity. I know we can hit that 9K mark today and get a fuzzy friend on stream and get them a treat. But as I said, we're going to take a short little break, hit that prize pool, and when we come back, we'll be seeing, can Chili Mountain close things out, or will Simplicity find a way to rally? Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. My name's Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing, and we are continuing to... what's the update? What's the update from Logan here? Sorry, I heard you before we went live. No? Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you had a critical update about Logan for everyone at home, but maybe I'm going crazy.
It said
maybe
first
I'm hearing
pick Phoenix.
What? Who said?
Logan. What?
Yeah, sure.
Why do you hurt me like this? Why do you...
You're just making stuff up.
Yeah. I guess I am. But you know what I'm not making up is the generosity from our community. We've broken $9,000. So after the series, when we come back from the break in between the series, we'll get a fuzzy friend on stream. We'll get them a treat. Maybe we'll get Springy. I don't know how hard it is or easy it is to set things up, but we'll talk about it in the break. We'll figure things out, and we'll get one of our wonderful fuzzy friends to join us on stream. Thank you at home. Seriously, thank you all at home for supporting, for pushing that prize pool. I seriously thank you so much. We broke $9,000 this weekend in week number 4, and I know we've got other little goals that we can create for all of you at home. So we'll think of some fun things to push that prize pool goal up for you further and further. But of course, we can talk about what we did in the break later. Let's talk about where we're going to for the next map, because I am very curious as to what the series is going to look like as we unfold further, is because it is going to be Chili Mountain choosing to take us to Alterac Pass, with Justing, members of Simplicity, opting for first pick priority as the losing team.
Yeah, this is a kind of standard map for most of the members of Chili Mountain. Dino in particular, this is where he showcased originally the Tracer and Leeming boss solos. So expecting to see some more of those shenanigans here, since we hadn't even seen that on Towers of Doom, and he did that in game 1. So very excited to see if Dino's able to get some sneaky boss steals here by himself. But this is a map that is quite snowbally once you get into the mid game, as the objective is extremely strong as it gets into the mid to late game. I think this map might have the strongest objective in the game overall. I'd say as it gets late into the game, the objective is very, very strong.
We're talking about lanes and stuff like that, and there was a term that we used a couple times yesterday that was I got a question on Discord, so I was hoping that we could break this down for anyone that is wondering. And I'm gonna start with Grubby, because I believe you have actually used the term as well, lane priority or lane prio. Can you break down what this term means and what we're trying to explain with that, or at least what we're trying to surmise with that term?
Whatever your goal is as a solo laner, it can either be to clear a single lane like a Battlefield of Eternity, or to clear 2 lanes. If you clear 2 lanes, it's usually kill all the minions, mount up, go to the middle lane, clear all those minions, mount up, go back to the top. So there's solo laners and there's duo laners. In your capacity of doing that job, you'll sometimes run into your opponent who is doing the same lane, and they're doing the same thing. Sometimes you're doing the same lanes, and sometimes you're going out of rotation. So you're top when they're mid, and vice versa. If you are closer to your 4-man team, and you're doing a better job of killing the minions earlier, and you have the chance to join your team earlier before the opponent player does, you are said to have lane prio. If your bruiser camp is pushing in the top lane and theirs is not, you are allowed to leave with positive macro pressure on your opponent. You have lane prio. So if a solo laner tells their team, I've got lane prio, they're saying, I'm good to join right now, we can 5v4, the macro's going well, my opponent will be delayed. That's lane prio.
Oh, honestly, Grubby, you put that so perfectly. So for anyone wondering what that term is or how it is explained or defined, there you go. Thank you so much, Grubby. You are a walking lexicon, a dictionary, whatever you want to call. He's a very smart man with all these breakdowns. But
A
of course,
walking human with words.
oh man, you do so good at those words and verbiage and things like that. But of course, another big brain person on our desk here is we got Justin, because we got a couple bans already coming through. And before I let you kind of explain away here, I did say that I was going to grab some Rhaegar stats for you, and this is actually the first time we're seeing Rhaegar today. He has had 37 games out of 48. And he has won 13, lost 15, and been banned for, well, this will be his 10th at this point. So there you go, some Rhaegar stats for anyone wondering, because we have seen him quite a bit here and there. So overall, 77%, if my math does serve me right on that one. I'm probably wrong. Either way, Justin, could you break down what we have here so far?
So we see the bribing being picked up, even though Lucio is available. So a little bit strange there, just out the gates. We do see the Vikings being banned away, which is what we saw from Chili Mountain on Towers of Doom. Simplicity not wanting to deal with any of those shenanigans here. Falstad is something that I could see being prioritized for Simplicity. It caters well to the map, and having more globals is never a bad thing on Altric. They could even get triple global if they really wanted to. The Haka was not picked by them in game 1 either, so I'm not expecting that. The Hogger is picked up and the Muradin is picked up, so trying to save their picks, trying to save their sneak, they want to be flexible with their draft, so picking the same roles plus Hogger as the Anubarak in the Muradin, just not wanting to show anything in the draft right now is Simplicity. Anubarak has the special property that we talked about a bit on Eltric, where he can solo the objective, so that's going to be something that Simplicity is going to have to watch out for. They basically have to keep one hero near the objective so that Anubarak doesn't solo cap it. Something also that kind of does the opposite of that is the Chromie that we saw quite a bit in previous weeks, where Chromie, depending on where the spawn is for the first objective, can basically just stall out the objective permanently by herself over the wall. So we'll see if Chromie's picked up for either of these teams, but as it stands right now, Masquerade, who was kind of the first one to do this, does have a Anubarak and is going to be looking to steal objective.
I wonder if there's a priority for Sergeant Hammer for either of these teams realistically. I mean, like Chili Mountain could have has a great Sergeant Hammer setup already, but Simplicity could definitely run it as well with what they've drafted so far, Grubby.
If you go like Blaze Hammer, that would be quite strong. That's a possibility. Could also run Blaze with something else. Yeah, Lucio, of course, is there. Interesting and early pick of Malthael. We don't see him a lot, and he's not easy to play or to fit into drafts, but he does have a good matchup into Hogger. He's not bad into Muradin, but he's quite good into Hogger for sure. Both in the one-on-one and in team fights. And Lucio, of course, fantastic. I'm not surprised at the Haka ban. I think that makes sense. Oh, wait, Blaze is banned as well. So yeah, it makes sense that they have to go to another solo laner who is then good into Hogger. A very high damage draft here from Greyman and Falstad. Not that much CC. We've got Stormbolt, we've got Polymorph, we've got Staggering Blow. But Falstad and Greyman don't bring a lot of CC. It's just a lot of damage coming in. Let's see how that pans out. They're quite good into Anubarak if they can lock him down.
Genji.
Probably,
I think it's Genji or
Genji banned.
Yeah, Genji's banned. Sorry,
We've both been shooting blanks here with the picks.
Yeah. All right, so Tracer is the budget Genji. They all kind of do the similar thing, but yeah, okay. So they're gonna go for Tracer. Genji was banned. I didn't notice that. I was too focused on the Lucio being picked up.
No, it's okay.
Instead of the Haka. I thought that was a little strange. Banning the Haka, giving them Lucio.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they would have went with had they not gotten the Lucio. That seems like a bit of a draft blunder from Simplicity, but Tracer does do a similar role to a Genji, but it kind of creates chaos in the backline so that Malthael can do his thing on the front line. So you have a very dive-heavy composition with the Lucio, the Malthael, the Tracer, Sylvanas, Anub. They all just sort of dive in together, and it's going to be a lot of pressure on whoever's playing the Hogger for Simplicity to be able to kind of keep them at bay alongside the Muradin, because there's going to be a lot of dive coming in onto their Greymane and onto their Falstad. It's It's going to be a very, very difficult job for Simplicity's backline and support to keep their Greymane and Falstad safe. Chili Mountain, very, very dive heavy. They do have the Anubarak to steal objective in the early game. There isn't a lot of stuff from Simplicity that is really excited to just sit at the objective. There's no Chromie. They do have the Falstad with the global and the Brightwing with the global that can try to kind of keep it at bay, but the Malthael is the one weird thing, and Chili Mountain just seems like they're mostly playing in their element. I'm expecting Chili Mountain to be able to close out the series right here.
Well, thank you as always, and we'll see if that will be true, as Ultralisk will be on the Sylvanas, Masquerade on the Anubarak, Dino on the Tracer, Banana on the Lucio, and Dequaza to play the Malthael. Over on the side of Simplicity, looking to rally here on Alterac Pass, we got Wishing on the Brightwing, Berber on the Hogger, Tiger JK on the Greymane, Apto on the Muradin, and Dual on the Falstad. You know, one thing that I was actually considering here, because Justin was mentioning the Malthael is kind of weird. The one thing I actually do like about the Malthael a lot, and it is a little bit later in his kit, he does have healing reduction, which could be a great way to mitigate phase shifting from Brightwing, or even just healing over time from the Muradin with his trait, as he also did go into that level 1, which is a possibility regardless. So I feel like the Malthael also, he's got a lot of great tools. Self-cleanse, he's got reduced healing with, I believe, the Consume Soul, if I'm not mistaken, is the level is the talent name. But overall, Grubby, the big thing for me, the takeaway that I have, Dino's back on Tracer. And how can I vote against Dino's Tracer?
You can't.
Done. Easy. All right. We're going to mute ourselves. Enjoy the show, everybody.
Yeah. Muradin, Brightwing, and Hogger all have good amounts of self-healing, especially Brightwing. It's very telegraphed. So it makes a lot of sense to pick up Malthael there. We don't see a lot of Malthael. Mostly we have seen it a bunch of times from Cure.
Yeah.
Cure played a really sick Malthael 2 seasons ago. And, well, let's see how this one is played. He's going with the level 1 Fear the Reaper. Right now Malthael is soloing the camp. Doing a pretty bang-up job of it as well. Wait, bang-up is good or bad in slang? Bad.
You're doing a bang-up job. You're doing like a good job. Doing a good job. Sorry,
Okay,
I had to like say it myself just to make sure I had it right.
With the American accent and all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You got
doing
it.
a bang-up job. Yeah, there you go. We'll add a little bit into it.
Yeah, he does a good job. The Hogger camp is meeting in the center. Brightwing comes in with the hot heal there. Very advantageous location for Chili Mountain with their Nullpack camp, because the towers are helping in the defense.
I love how they're holding this right in front of the towers, so the mini wave is actually tanking all the damage and not the structures here. And so, as we've talked about in previous weeks, it is a little beneficial to grab the Nullpack second, because now you can push in without the enemy Nullpack to defend. And we'll see here, there is the dismount onto Apto, and Tiger JK is trying to do something over there, as well as we do have the Tracer rotating into top lane, but no actual threat of a kill, as Ultralisk is getting low, has to get the Haunting Wave out.
Yeah, normally the way that you stop Savannah's Haunting Wave is to polymorph her as she starts the Shade. Maybe it had already been used before that, so it didn't work out. Simplicity doing all right. They have sustained more damage on the towers in the center. Now, small little reminder for people that wonder what the prioritization is like on Alterac Pass. You always want to take the Nullpack camp on cooldown, as Lucio is harassing Brightwing. And what's more is... Oh, he almost did damage to his own fort with that Tracer
With
bomb.
the Pulse Bomb, yeah.
Yeah, I always try to dodge buildings with that, but he didn't. It's fine. He knew better than me. The middle lane is the most important to attack with standard push of heroes. Like any auto attack that you want to do that can go to a tower, any skill shot, mid is most important, because via mid you have a fallback point away from the objective. You have a healing fountain that you can access from either the left or the right side. This is true for both bases. Additionally, you can park a hero somewhere right there, over the fountain, right there, the little nook and cranny over the fountain, to do skill shots to prevent prison camp being captured. So that's something to keep in mind.
A little bit of a poke out from Apto and Dulal, but did they step out a little too far? Pulse Bomb from Dino doesn't connect this time. 12 stacks on the Falstad for his level 1, as Tiger JK is forced back into mid lane to clear out the Nullpack with the help of Hogger, who does get a bounce. Now Apto, once again, a little split, trying to anchor for his team, but just a little too far forward there without any sort of assistance. Was maybe looking to try and delay out the objective, but here, our first one is going to be 30 seconds of channel time. There's going to be a stall from Falstad. Banana might get the interrupt onto this, and he doesn't.
No anti-heal from Malthael, so I think we might be seeing the Wraith Strike build as Merlin takes a lot of unnecessary
Ouch.
damage. He just kind of got left out by himself as Brightwing was worried about someone else. Apto just repeatedly getting hit a lot without like a real intent to initiate and receive follow-up and get kills. So a bit unfortunate there for him. First blood for Chili Mountain, as look at that, Lucio skates through, gets the slow, gets the sound wave, nice kill. Banana H knew you overstepped, I will catch you, and Falstad did not know, otherwise he wouldn't have done it, right? And that's kind of the disconnect between a better team and a better player, is they know when you made a mistake before you did. You're just playing as you always have,
Yeah.
as you've learned that you can play. And when you're learning that you can get punished for things that you thought were safe, that is a process. That really is a process that takes a while. I think a lot of the practice that Simplicity got maybe is on a smaller population Korean server. Koreans used to be kind of the best at HoTS, and the server just isn't like super in the best health. Europe and NA are in a pretty good spot, and Korean server just got like less and less population still playing. And so they're just not getting the same quality practice at this time. They are going to need more practice time, even just on NA server or via custom games. And then they'll learn those things too. I'm sure that they have the capacity to improve, but right now they are just making mistakes that they don't know are mistakes.
And it's, I mean, and realistically, I mean, the biggest, and the only way to really learn, not only, but one of the biggest ways to learn these is through failure, I would say. I mean, this week I was, like yesterday, for example, there was that Sonya game that we were casting, and we were all kind of talking about how the Sonya was really not that strong, and it felt lackluster, and it doesn't work within the composition. I played Sonya this past week in my Stormly games, and I felt exactly the same. That's a last rights onto Apto. That will be one stack for the Malthael, as there's a Cocoon onto Brightwing. She's gonna get bopped around. No level 10 for her, so no blink heal. Didn't even get the soothing mist off, as Banana is able to cycle out. But overall, it's I think you said it very well, Grubby. You can't know these limits if you're not ever limit tested or pushed to that point. So here Simplicity might be losing, but they are learning things. As long as they go back and they can take positives from these losses in the sense of knowledge, growth, and understanding, then I think we can see some scaling. But of course, let's go ahead and break down what just happened here, Grubby, because there was a lot for those double kills.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay here. So this starts with a forward dive. Note how there's black arrow, so there's a lesser fear of actually jumping in. Ultralist still has a couple of seconds on that black arrow. That was a really nice mind control there. I'm not sure why Graymin is fraying Brightwing at that moment. It will just mean she dies quicker, because she could almost come out and get blink heal already. So you gotta wonder sometimes. Maybe he wanted to make sure Burrow Charge isn't back yet, and that kind of makes sense. Either way, doomed affair as it stands. Now, meanwhile, in the present, we have a 5 versus 5 setup. Theoretically, right? Theoretically, Simplicity should like to take this fight. They don't have Avatar, but for the rest, they have it all. They were 5v5, they have positive map pressure. If there was courage, they jump in, they try to get the kill, and they kind of do. The Dwarf Toss Stormbolt did not connect, and now there's no engage. There's Shockwave, good high five by Banana H to block it. There's the Cocoon on Brightwing. Dequaza and Masquerade do not get their kill. Burrow Charge did not connect. And that's kind of a disengage, as both tanks had momentarily used their cooldowns.
Polymorph, Stormbolt, there's a high five onto Dequaza. We do have Apto a little bit low here. Last Rites is available, and it doesn't get the kill, but it does actually get the kill in a sense, because he did get the stack within the time frame. Pulse Bomb, big Pulse Bomb onto Falstad. He does fall down. Berber so very low.
Oh!
Raymond goes for the throat, and he cleans up this engagement. Ultralisk, I don't think you got the outplay here, bud. And it's a triple kill for Simplicity, though the same for Chile Mountain and the objective, because I will say this, that fight might have been different if Masquerade didn't just leave to go objective, because he kind of did leave to go objective.
He's receiving spam pings.
He's
Let's
receiving
jump
a lot
in.
of pings from his teammates.
Let's jump into the voice. I want to hear what they're talking about.
Into Chile Mountain we go.
T'es mort comme un gros dog. T'es mort, suicide-toi.
Maybe Tails going to war.
We have a tank, please.
Hello, Grubby.
Yeah, I enjoy a tank that is leaving the fight in the middle of the...
I watch you.
we can get the top one later. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
fine.
the
I
top
mean,
40
We get it
Game
already.
more spiced now. But you got it any... Okay.
Yeah, I got
Suicide,
it.
suicide, suicide.
Oh,
suicide.
okay.
I'm going to suicide.
I'm going now.
You have to die. Yeah,
It's
you
fine, by the
you
way,
die,
yeah.
you have to die.
I'm fighting.
Just fight them right away.
They're
with this
going.
one,
Revenge.
right? There's no
They're going
force.
on him. Cap. We don't care.
No.
Ah, je le sauve.
Okay, we're getting
Can we go in?
No poly, no
But
poly,
we
no poly.
you have to help Moscow. Run up, run
No,
up.
I don't.
I'm out.
He killed us.
Oh, I'm not out.
I missed the mana bomb. Okay.
Objective.
Mission
Good
accomplished. Shut up.
I'm dead.
Grand success.
Oh no,
Banana needs that.
no.
Kill fun.
Kite.
I don't
No
have
Minecraft for now.
anything. Oh, what?
We kill him, my last strike, go.
Going now? Dino?
Yeah, get Dino.
Yeah, get Dino. Wait, c'est quoi ça? Wrong one.
Chase it.
Dino. Chasing. Oh.
Coming now.
That is 5 friends having a good time right there. That's my caster breakdown analysis of the comms. Those are 5 friends having a good time. That's all that is.
Yeah, they actually they called the dino kill, which feels. I mean, among friends, right? Among friends, they were joking. As they go in for Hogger here, it's a big place by Banana Age, going through everyone. Man, they're just diving under the fort here. The Black Arrow is really enabling things here. Banana Age moving like a turbo train. This is insane. Merlin jumps away, but he has a sticky bomb. He has 600 life. Gets Avatar again. Meanwhile, Dulaw in trouble. Chili Mountain gets another kill. They have 3 kills. They get the mid keep. And I think they can get top keep as well, Bahamut.
Absolutely. They've already got the cavalry in top lane. Drekthar is going to be clearing out mid as Apto is all by himself. Masquerade is going to get stunned and then cleansed and then set up a kill for the team here. No mana on a couple players from the side of Chili Mountain, but really don't think it matters to them. 3 dead on the opposing side. Does Chili Mountain go lethal, or are they going to look to do more shenanigans here on Alterac Pass?
They're going to try to go for lethal for sure. No risk, right? No risk.
Okay, it's 4v. Oh no, that last rights comes through. The shockwave from the Hogger, Falstad, and Greymane will be falling. We got some low Chili Mountain members, but it doesn't seem like it matters to Banana. He's keeping everyone in the circle. Drekthar is getting low. The cleanse out onto Malthiels. He's casually 1v3, and here comes the Nubrak once again for the burrow. There's going to be a dive onto Apto. He takes a lot of damage, and he will be falling. Chili Mountain looking to still continue to take down Drekthar, but they want to take down more kills. They want to change, or at least affect their overall KDA in the season. Brightwing can't even get to the Hall of Stones. Berber all by himself knocks back the enemy. The core is falling. That's another pentakill to the side of Chili Mountain, and that is going to be the end of the series. 3-0 Chili Mountain. A very well played series coming out from our Chili Mountain crew. Simplicity, well, not looking as strong as we were hoping. The roster change with Tiger JK did have some shining moments, but shining fleeting moments, I think, is probably the better way to put it, if I'm going to be blunt, honestly. And Justin, can we get you back in the mix to break down everything that was Alterac Pass map number 3?
Yeah, you could hear it in the comms. I think that you said that quite well, that Chili Mountain was just having fun by the end of the game there. It feels like they're kind of in a different class, and Chili Mountain was sort of ranked as potentially the best team in the league, while their standings may not have reflected it until now. Now they're going to be 3-1, I believe. So they're going to be up there now where they rightfully belong. Chili Mountain does seem quite just really strong, especially considering, I would argue, the last 2 games they had losing drafts that on paper, if they were against themselves and the roles were the teams were reversed, if Chili Mountain just like if they played against each other with those drafts, I think that their comps were worse in those last 2 games, and they still looked that dominant. So I think that's a good sign for Chili Mountain from a gameplay perspective. It might be something that they can maybe still work on, though, as a team if they're trying to compete for first place. Just from a draft perspective, I think there was a couple moments where they maybe had a couple maybe draft blunders and things that they kind of got for free in the draft. Like this one, getting the Lucio in the second rotation, I don't think they should have been able to get. And Simplicity, while they didn't look like they were a completely new team with their new roster change, their drafts were a lot better and a lot more like normalized this week. It felt like their drafts in the previous weeks, it felt like a lot that they were needing to experiment with a ton of things and try a bunch of weird things that maybe weren't very meta at all. this series, all we really saw from them that was weird was the first pick Mayab in game 1, but they made the adaptation to stop that. This was Tiger JK after Masquerade left, cleaning up the fight where it looked like the fight was just over and Chili Mountain was going to win it for sure, just completely cleanly, and then Masquerade leaves and Tiger JK does take advantage of that and pops off and cleans up. So there is still a hope for Simplicity as the season progresses that they can get that synergy going, as there have been a couple like moments of good things from them, but it's just not consistent enough when you go up against a team like Chili Mountain that just looks like such a polished team right now. You have these players who've been playing together for quite a while over in Europe, and they look very, very strong. We heard a lot between Chili Mountain and Oxygen as being kind of the best team of Europe right now. Chili Mountain in this series looking quite strong, and we'll find out in the next series too, kind of which team, how the teams look in their respective matches. But it's cool to see the team just vibing, having fun, doing as well as they did, even in having kind of losing drafts, being in situations where on paper they shouldn't be winning as hard as they are. But for them to be that strong, it gives me good hope for Chili Mountain, because they do need to scale up into the end of the season.
Yeah, and they've bumped themselves into third place if my caster math is correct, because they'll have a map score of 9-4, which is better than the Diamond Hands map score of 9-6. So good on Chili Mountain. They're in top 3 right now, but I mean the weeks are going to be ever changing. Of course, we got to talk to one of the players from Chili Mountain. So let's go ahead and get Masquerade, I believe, in the mix right now. Masquerade, can you hear us? How you feeling?
Hello, I'm feeling good. Thanks for asking.
The glass takeoff was perfect. The first thing I got to ask you was how much fun did you have in that series? We jumped in your comms and you guys sounded like it was just a bunch of friends having a nice afternoon playing games.
Oh, we are very focused, very clean comms, very professional, and
Yes.
that allows us to defeat a formidable opponent, and we take the dub.
Okay, all right. I have one more question, but I'll leave it for the end over here. I want to throw it over to Justin for a question or two.
Yeah, I noticed you guys put a lot of priority on the mid lane on the BOE
yeah.
game. Is there a reason for that? And do you think other teams are going to maybe adopt that strategy going forward?
Yeah, push mid. Yeah, BOE, you push mid. You can kill the dragon as well sometime, but you have to push mid.
Okay. Grubby,
Thanks.
any questions for Masquerade?
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice that during the final game, you guys were very careful to see, careful about what you would discuss when we jump in. Thank you for the welcome as we came in with the comms. Is that because you were hiding the special strategies that you might otherwise be using to keep comms clean from the secrets?
I mean, okay. To speak plainly, no. I mean, we didn't troll the draft. So, I mean, yeah, Vikings, Hammers, that stuff we kinda experimented already in Europe. So it's not like totally exotic for us. It's yeah. I mean, we showed some stuff. Com-wise, I don't know. We didn't actually have to focus that much, so sometimes that's kind of actually our weakness. When games tends to be too easy, we just go off script and do whatever and talk about nonsense. But as long as we win,
you guys still did strong draft and strong play, so you got to relax. Obviously, you probably thought this was going to be a little bit easier match, but you still respected the game because you still played your best and didn't troll off too much or anything like that. Relaxing day, right?
Sure.
Well,
and what about next weekend? Have you looked at that match yet?
Wait, who do we play next weekend? Oh, I have no idea.
You're gonna be up against Wild Heart.
Yeah, Wild Heart. Actually, Wild Heart, 30k, and Diamond Hands are 3 teams that are quite good. 30k, Wild Heart, Diamond Hands in that order, I think.
Yeah.
And so we have to really prepare for these. Granite and Splitting not that much, but yeah, these 3 we have to very watch out. Storm as well. Wait, no, we played Storm already, right? I wasn't there, but we beat them apparently. So we're gonna practice for sure and play our best.
Alrighty. Well, we're excited to see you next weekend up against Wildheart. Before you skedaddle out of here, any shouts that you'd like to give?
Sure, shout out to the team. They are excellent players. Shout out to the sponsor, Chi Mountain. Premium sponsor. We have Shaq glasses. These are glasses. And yeah, that's it. Shout out to the chat. Fucking legends. And that's it for me. Thank you for the casting, boys, and the production.
Oh. Well, thank you for joining us, Masquerade. Good luck in your scrims, and we'll see you next weekend up against Wildheart Esports.
See ya.
See you. Alrighty, so we got a little insight into all of that. Definitely, they took it serious, but they had some fun, is what it kind of sounds like to me. But as I'd mentioned, the members of Chili Mountain, they pushed themselves up into, I believe, rank 3 in the league, and we can take a look at those league standings later on today after we get into that second best of 5. But of course, as always, as we do after every match, I want to get your takeaways here. I want to start with Justin. Any takeaways from Chili Mountain versus Simplicity?
Chili Mountain, we haven't gotten to see quite as much because they had the one match that wasn't played, correct, against Granite, so I believe it was their match.
Correct. Yes,
So,
it was.
so they're a team that's kind of been talked about as being one of the best, but they're sort of out of the discussion because we didn't see them quite as much. I think it's good for them that they were able to look so dominant against Simplicity for that, because they've been kind of out of the discussion a bit because we haven't seen them quite as much. So it was good to see them be so strong. And to be in the top 3 now, they're kind of showing that they are a real contender as we get to the end of the season. And I think the next match is going to give us a lot more kind of insight into where the standings will be going forward. I think this is like the perfect matches have been played to be at the halfway point to kind of get some kind of idea of how the gauntlet and like the second half will start playing out.
I agree. Grubby, any takeaways?
Yeah, I think you can tell something from the level of seriousness that a team maintains against a team they are quite obviously better against. The worst form of trolling would take place like where you're constantly winning hard, and you do like an accidental team wipe where all of you like get wiped, but you're not really worried because you know you're still going to win. Mm-hmm. That never happened. That shows still a good level of seriousness, as Masquerade was alluding to as well, to the point where like, yeah, they aced this series 3-0 relatively relaxedly, and it's exactly what you would want and hope, like Justin said, from a team that's gunning for the top spots. And I 100% agree. Their next match against Wildheart, I think that's going to be their major challenge. They had already lost one series against Oxygen, and I think Wildheart and Oxygen are probably looking like top 3 teams right now. Mm-hmm. The question is it 30K or is it Chili Mountain? That's the other top 3 team. Maybe that will be answered next weekend.
Definitely have a lot of great games today and in the upcoming weekends. But of course, before we continue into any of those games, we got to talk about our wonderful partner, Ball Street. It's up to you to get the best picks for the winning team live as you're watching on cclmarkets.com. It's free. If you pick wrong, you can sell your shares and buy the other team before the match is over. CCL markets trade from 0 to 100 with shares of the winning team valuing at 100 and shares of the losing team expiring at 0. There's tons of prizes this season, so join and play during every HeroesCCL broadcasts. Gotta love the Ball Street gambles that we do have this season, and thank you for joining us. But as I had mentioned, we are getting ready for our next best of 5 of the day. We're going to be seeing 30K versus Oxygen Esports. This is going to be a really, really fun matchup. This is also going to determine, can 30K stay at the top? Will Oxygen move up further in the league standings? A lot of change-ups will actually happen from this matchup, as we've been kind of alluding to today. So we're going to take a short little break. In this break, we have brought on the best, the most wonderful, the illustrious Kyle Ferguson to sit down with Madara and, well, just discuss the upcoming matchup and everything in between. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, it'll be 30K versus Oxygen Esports. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom.